Hi to everyone, to all the grade 9. So for today's video, I'm going to explain the solution and answer of our activity. So let's start with the solving quadratic equation by extracting square root. So medyo nahihirapan yung iba. So ito na yun. So panoorin nyo guys. So let's start. So we have this equation 8x squared minus 72x equals 0. So we can solve this in two ways. So I will introduce to you. The first one is we can factor this as 8x, then on the other factor we have x minus 9 equals 0. So we have 8x then times x minus 9 equals 0. So why 8x? Because the common factors of these terms, so 8x squared and 72x is 8x. So we just write it as one factor here, and the other factors will be x minus 9. So why we have only one term here? Because the given quadratic equation is incomplete quadratic equation. That's why we have only one factor here. Alright? Now, if you want to go back here, just apply a distributive property of multiplication, so you will get this. So 8x times x equals 8x squared, then 8x times negative 9 equals negative 72x. Now, equate each factor to 0. 8x is equals to 0, then another one we have x minus 9 is equals to 0. Of course, we will divide this by 8, then cancel 8, so x is equals to 0. Then here, we just only transpose negative 9 to find the value of x, so we have now x equals 9. So therefore, the solutions are 0 and 9. Alright? So another way is, we can also solve this as 8x squared minus 72x is equals to 0. So you can transpose minus 72x. So 8x squared is equals to 72x. Alright? And then after that, divide both sides by 8x. Then cancel this, so we have now x is equals to 72 divided by 8 is 9. So we have only one solution, but since this is incomplete quadratic equations, automatically or one of the solutions will be 0. So always x is equals to 0. So alright, let's proceed to the next question in grade 9. So it's still solving quadratic equation, but we are going to apply extracting square root or the square root principle. So let's have this second question. 4x squared equals 100. Alright. So if this is the case, there is a numerical coefficient of 4. So all you have to do, guys, look at this. 100 is already at the right side of the equal sign. So just divide it by 4. Divide by 4. Then cancel, because if you will divide it, the answer is equals to 1. So x squared equals 100 divided by 4 equals 25. Then from here, you are going to apply the square root principle. We call it extracting square root. So we have now square root of x squared equals square root of 25. Square root of x squared is equals to x. Then square root of 25 is equals to positive negative 5. So therefore, the solutions are x equals 5 and x is equals to negative 5. So that is the answer. Our next example is different. Why? Because the highest degree is 4 and 3. So how are you going to deal with that equation? Then how are you going to find the solutions or roots of that given equations? Okay, so let's have this. Letter A, we have x raised to 4 minus 4x squared plus 3 is equals to 0. So You will notice that the exponent now is 4, so we call this equation quartic equation. Then, to solve this, you are going to start let u is equals to x squared. This one, okay? So u is equals to x squared. So meaning, we will replace u to x squared, then u to x raised to the 4th power. So this will be your solution now. U squared minus 4u plus 3 is equals to 0. Alright, then this is already a quadratic equation. Then to factor this, we have parentheses is equals to 0. So factors of u squared is equals to u, then u, because if we will multiply u times u equals u squared. Then for factors of the last term, 3 is 3, 1. So the operation that we are going to use will be subtraction. Because if we will multiply negative 3 times negative 1, the answer will be positive 3. Then, always check your middle term if it is correct. So we have negative 4u. So if we will multiply negative 3u, then negative 1u, then add. So the result will be negative 4u. Negative 4u. Alright. So let's continue. Equate its factor to 0. So we have now u minus 3 equals 0. Then u minus 1 is equals to 0. So therefore, we have now transposed negative 3. U is equals to positive 3. Then u is equals to positive 1. But this is not yet the answer. So to find the answer, let's go back here. So we have now x squared is equals to positive 3. Then apply square root property to find the value of x. So we have now square root of x squared is x. Alright. Then the square root of 3 will be positive negative 3. So just write plus and minus sign. Then another answer will be for 1. So we have x squared is equals to 1. Apply the square root principle. We have now square root of x squared, square root of 1, and square root of x squared is x, then square root of 1 is positive negative 1. So therefore, the solutions are square root of 3, negative square root of 3, positive 1, and negative 1. Alright? So that is the answer. So we call, by the way, we call this class, okay, grade 9, we call this method U-form method. So we just replace u to x squared. In order we can create a quadratic equation here. Grade 9, so let's proceed to letter B. So wherein the exponent is equals to 3. The highest degree is 3. So how are you going to solve that equation? So let's have this. Alright, so x cubed plus 8x squared minus x minus 8 is equals to 0. So there are 4 terms. Now, to solve this equation, we are going to use groupings. So we need to group the terms. So the first group will be x cubed plus 8x squared. So this is our first group. Then the second group will be minus x, then plus 8 is equals to 0. Now, look at the equation. What did you notice? Ano bang napapansin nyo? You're grade 9. So, we have x minus 8 here, but I changed it to positive x plus 8. Why? Because we put the parentheses. The reason why we have this parentheses, if we will distribute negative, so there's an invisible one here. So negative times x equals negative x, and negative times positive 8 equals negative 8. So meaning they are equivalent. So they are equal. So that's why we changed the sign of 8. So negative 8, so became now positive So let's continue. So get the common monomial factors of this first factor. So that is x squared. Then x plus 8 will be inside the parentheses. Then minus. Then x plus 8 here equals 0. So understood there's an invisible one, as I said a while ago here. So we have common terms or common factors here, x plus 8, x plus 8. So we just combine it as one factor. So we have now x plus 8. Then we have x squared, then negative 1. So we will combine also as one factor. So x squared minus 1. Alright? Of course, equals 0. So we have the factors x plus 8. Then since the exponent is 3, so we will find the remaining two factors. So x squared minus 1 can be factored as x plus 1 times x minus 1. Then x plus 8 is equals to 0. So if we will equate each factors to 0, so the result will be x plus 1 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0, and then x plus 8 is equals to 0. Then finding the value of x now, so just transpose. Okay, so x is equals to negative 1, x equals to positive 1, then x equals to negative 3. So therefore the solutions or the roots are of this equation, x cubed plus 8x squared minus x minus 8 equals 0, or negative 1, positive 1, and negative 8. Okay guys, so I hope you understand. Okay, thank you guys. So see you next meeting, see you next video. Okay, bye. Have a wonderful day to everyone.